2021 at a sale, each book was marked $3 off the original price. So whatever that the book was sold for, $3 was taken from that price. So Daniel bought 2 books and he paid $46 for both books. So what was the original cost for one of those books? Say if he paid $46 for 2 books, it would be what's the cost for one book? It would be $46 divided by 2 to get $23. And remember that each book at $3 discount was given. To get the original price, it will be $23 plus this discounted $3 that each person received or each book received to get $26, and that is our answer. If $7,000 is borrowed at the rate of 5% per annum for 3 years, the simple interest is, so now we're finding simple interest. So we have our principal in this time around. So simple interest is equal to 7,000 multiplied by rate of 5% multiplied by time of 3 years, and all of that is divided by 100. So that is simple interest is equal to 105,000 divided by 100, cancelling of zeros, get simple interest being $1,050. So our answer B. 7 times the product of 2 numbers A and B may be written as. So it's just, this question is literally reading and deciphering what it's saying. So 7 times the product of 2 numbers. Remember, product is the same as multiplication, and times is also the same as multiplication. So 7 times the product of 2 numbers, and our 2 numbers are A and B. So I already have 7 times the product. 7 times the product of this number that you already see, which is A and B. And that is our answer. It's just simply writing it out and putting it all together. If x is an integer that satisfies the inequality, so this is saying 2x is greater than 4 and 2x is less than or equal to 6. So we're trying to find a range of numbers that satisfy this inequality. So from looking at the numbers, B, C, and D all start with negative numbers, where it's saying x is greater than -2, for example, in B, which means that the first number from that answer would be -1. If we put -1 in the original inequality, so 2 times -1 gives you -2. -2 is definitely not greater than 4, and it is definitely not. It is less than 6 but not equal to 6. So therefore that did not satisfy the inequality. So we realize that no negative number in this case can satisfy that inequality. So right there and then we know that our answer is A, but if we should work it out, it says x is greater than 2 and x is equal to or less than 3. So the number is 3, and should we put 3 in the inequality, we'll see 2 times 3, 6. So 6 is definitely greater than 4 while being equal to 6. If 5 multiplied by 2x minus 1 in bracket is equal to 35, then x is equal to, so what we'll be doing is expanding then solving for x. So 5x multiplied by 2x, then 5 multiplied by -1 equals 35. 2 5s 10, so that gives us 10x. Then 5 multiplied by -1 gives us -5 equals 35. Remember that a negative times a positive gives a negative number, so it's 10x minus 5 equals 35. 10x is equal to 35 plus 5. As we take the 5 from this side, move it over the equal sign, it becomes positive, so it's 35 plus 5. So x is equal to 40 divided by 10, and our answer is 4x is equal to 4. 26, 3x squared plus 2x cubed. So 2 times 3 is 6, and when you're multiplying indices, they basically add. So when you do x squared times x, the third power, it's adding them. So it's 2 plus 3 gives us 6x to the 5th power. So 26 is 8. 27, if x equals 4, y equals 2, what is the value of this equation? So what we're doing is substituting. Wherever we see x, we're going to put 4, and wherever we see y, we are going to put 2. So it is 4 squared. So it is basically saying 4 times 4 plus 3 times y, which is 2. And all of this we are dividing by x times y, which is 2 times 4, which gives us 8. So see guys, simple. We're going through getting our perfect marks mastery. Show CXC that we're a bright student. So it is 4, 4, 16 plus 2, 3, 6 divided by 8 equal 22 divided by 8 equal to 2, and 6 over 8, as 8 into 22 goes 2 times, remainder 6 over 8, and we simplify this fraction. So guys, always remember to simplify. You don't have calculators within the exam, so always simplify. Don't say, oh god, I never see the answer. You come out and hear for that, so them get A and say you never see answer, so you choose the closest thing. So no guys, always simplify to get 2 and 3 over 4, and our answer is D. So 28, the sum of two positive numbers P and Q is 32, their difference is 12. What is the smaller number? This can be worked out using an equation, but what I did, I was like, if I were a student, what would I do in the exam and not knowing where to go? Literally, I created an equation. So P, the sum of two numbers, P plus Q is equal to 32. Yes, that's it. And then I substituted, I said P, let me use the first answer A. So I said 10 plus Q is equal to 32. So let me solve for Q and see what Q would be equal to. When I solve for Q, Q is equal to 22. So 10 plus 22 is indeed 32. So then we say, the second part of the question said their difference is 12. So let me find the difference between these two numbers, 22 and 10, and I got 12. And I said, oh, this is correct, and I'm smart. But then I doubted myself, and I was like, wait, suppose that's just because I took an answer. So I said, let me try it with 12, which is B. So I use the same equation, P plus Q, and then I put P for to be 12. So I said P 12 plus Q is equal to 32. Solving for Q, Q is equal to 20. So 20 plus 12 will indeed give you back 32. But when you find their difference, will it be 12? 20 minus 12 is equal to 8. And that is why I definitely knew that A is the answer, and my initial, working out was correct. So 29, when 6 is added to a number and the sum is divided by 3, the result is 4. So it's again simply reading, understanding, and then looking for what suits the reading. So it's 6 added to a number, in this case I'm using the number as x, so the sum. Then it said this sum is divided by 3, so it's 6 plus x that is divided by 3, and the result is 4. And this suits exactly what B said, is 6 divided by 3, and this is added to a certain number. Definitely not what the question asked for. So 30 says the volume of a cube with edge 10 is, and if you know volume, it is volume of a cube is length times length times length, so length cube. It's length times length times length, or side times side. Or more formally, volume is equal to length times width times height. So volume is equal to length times width times height, and that all sides on a cube are equal, so therefore it will be 10 times 10 times 10 to give us 1000, and our answer is D. Yay! Going along, reach halfway through the paper and realize, alright, I'm on my way to my grade 1. So if 3 plus 2 over x is equal to 1, then the value of x is, so we're basically solving for x, making x the subject of the formula. There are different ways that you can work it. For me, the easiest way was just to literally solve for x. So 3 plus 2 over x is equal to 1. So 2 over x, I bring the 3 over the equal sign, so it becomes a negative. So 2 over x is equal to 1 minus 3. 2 over x is equal to negative 2, which is 1 minus 3. And then solve for x, so now I take the negative 2 and brought the x up, brought the negative 2 down. It becomes 2 divided by negative 2 is equal to x, and x is equal to negative 1. Remember that a positive divided by a negative gives you a positive. A negative divided by a negative gives a positive, and so on and so forth. How many kilograms are there in 1 ton? Theory, 1000. 33. AOB is a sector of a circle such that AOB is 60 degrees. To find the area with R, with the radius of OB being R. So the formula, this is usually at the front of the paper formula sheet. So area of a sector is equal to the angle of the sector divided by 360, and our angle is 60 divided by 360 multiplied by pi times r squared. You do not have a calculator, so CXC will not ask you. I'm not saying they will not. They will only ask you if the numbers are easy to work out, where pi would probably be 22 over 7, and the radius would have more than likely been something that 7 can be divided into without leaving a remainder, and easy to multiply. That's the only way they'll give it to work out. So in this case, they didn't ask you to work it out. So what you're doing is simplifying 60 over 360 to get your answer. So don't say, oh God, I never see the answer. Miss, what that CXC do? No, it's as simple as simplifying your fraction. So it's 16 to 60 goes 1 time, 16 to 360 goes 2 times, goes 6 times, sorry. 16 to 360 goes 6 times, multiply by pi, multiply by r squared. And that is our answer. Our 33 is A. The length of one side of the square is 5 centimeters and the height of the triangle is 4 centimeters. What is the total area of the figure in centimeters squared? So as you can realize, there are 2 ways or more that you can work with this. I'm going to use the way that most persons might be familiar with, which is the simple formulas of triangle. Area equal half base times height. And there are 2 triangles, so when you find the area of one, you multiply it by 2 to get the total area for that one, and then the area of the square, and you add them both, and you get your answer. Of this let's see, the base in this case for this would be 2.25. Sorry, 2.5 times height, which is 4. And our answer here will be 5. So 2 is 4 plus 2 times 2 times 2.5 is 5, but there are two triangles, so the area for that is equal to 5 multiplied by 2, which is equal to 10, and then area of a square is side by side or length by length, whichever way you choose to remember, as long as it is correct. That is all that matters. So it is 5 multiplied by 5, which is equal to 25. So the total area is equal to 25 plus 10, which is equal to 35 centimeters squared. So our answer is a simple math is indeed fun, and we are prepared for it, so we are going to do it and do it well. So which of the figures represent this equation of 5 plus 4 times 2? 5 and 4 are the parallel sides of the figure, and 2 is the height. So the formula is usually written as half AB half A plus B times height. So height should be 2. The only figure here that represents a height of 2 is D, and that is how we know our answer is D. A car travels 80 kilometers in 2.5 hours. What is the speed? Zoom in kilometers per hour. So we're trying to find speed. Formula: speed is equal to distance over divided by time. So speed is equal to 80 kilometers divided by time of 2.5 hours, and our answer is 32 kilometers per hour. 37.
Question 37. The area of a rectangle is 53.6 and the length is multiplied by 4 and the width is half. What is the new area? So we know that area of a rectangle is length multiplied by width, and the question stated that this is equal to 53.6 centimeters. And what we're now looking for, the new area, the length is multiplied by 4 and the width is half, and that is equal to x, and that is what we are looking for. So we're now trying to solve what x is. So should we know it would be length multiplied by width equal 53.6, and 4 length times width divided by 2 is equal to x, and we're solving for x right here. And 2 into 2 goes 1 time, and 2 into 4 goes 2 times. So basically simplified that little fraction right there. So basically x is equal to 2 length times width. I hope we're following. So if x is now equal to 2 length times width, the length times width right here represents the area, and we know what the area of this rectangle was. It's 53.6. so therefore x is equal to 2 multiply by 53.6, and the 53.6 represents the area, the length times the width. So therefore x is equal to 107.2, or you could work it the other way that I did, which is where I literally inserted a number in the formula and then solve for width and then use the scenario that the question gave. So this is how I did it. So I said length multiplied by width is equal to 53.6. So I'm now going to assume that the length of the triangle, and this is just a rough working, so I'm trying to find two numbers that would have been multiplied to give me 53.6. I'm assuming that length was 8. So the length of the triangle was 8. And I'm trying to find the width, as I know the area, which is 53.6. So therefore, width would be equal to 53.6 divided by 8. So therefore, when I do that calculation, 53.6 divided by 8 is 6.7. So now have both length is equal to 8 and width is equal to 6.7, and the question states that the length is multiplied by 4, so it's 8 multiplied by 4 is equal to 32, and it states that the width is half, so it's 6.7 divided by 2, which is equal to 3.35. And now to find the new area, I don't know, the area of the rectangle is length multiplied by width, so it's equal to length 32 multiplied by width 3.35, and that is equal to 107.2.
A man leaves home at 10:15 and reaches destination at 4 o'clock on the following day in the same time zone. How many hours did the journey take? Journey, man, Jesus. Journey, Lord. Journey. So it is 22. So 10:15 to 12 o'clock is 1 hour and 45 minutes. And 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock is 4 hours. And we add everything to get 5 hours and 45 minutes. So 45 minutes is the same as 5 3/4. So our answer is B. The perimeter of a square is 48 centimeters. What is the area? So we know that perimeter is equal to of a square is length plus length plus length plus length plus length. So it is the entire area. Or it can be side plus side plus side. So 48 is equal to 4. Is 48 divided by 4 is equal to 12. So one side of this square is 12 centimeters. And the formula for area is length times length. So it will be 12 multiplied by 12 to give us 144. Among a group of employees, the highest paid received a weekly wage of $105.40. If the range is $27.50, how much does the lowest paid employee receive? So range is the difference between the highest and the lowest. In this case, the highest wage and the lowest wage, or the maximum wage and the minimum wage. And so now we have the range, so we're solving for what the minimum wage or the lowest wage is. So we make it the subject of the formula, and it becomes $105.40 minus $27.50, and we will get C, $77.90.